Texas Small Farmers and Ranchers CBO.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another amazing knowledge forum with the Texas Small Farmers and Ranchers CBO. I'm so excited that you all are here, and even more excited for our speaker today. And yeah, we're gonna first of all start with some, our housekeeping. I see some of y'all are joining us, and more people are joining us as we go along. But we're gonna get started because we believe in time management here. We don't want to waste your time because y'all are here early. So we appreciate you participating with us. So I'm gonna first launch our poll or icebreaker, as I like to say. And we usually ask three questions. If you're used to it, if you've been here, you know what they are, where you are joining us from, what do you practice? What do you produce or hope to produce on your farm/ranch? And what type of livestock do you raise or hope to raise on your farm/ranch? We'd love for you to share that with us. I see some of you on here. I don't know if there are any familiar faces or names. I think we do have some familiar faces and names. Please share with us. Share with us what you're doing. On mine, I can tell you right now, a lot has changed. I know last time I said potatoes, I'm still doing potatoes, but now I'm doing oregano. Having a beautiful bouquet of oregano plants growing and rosemary. I figured out how to grow one. I know they grow easily in Texas, but I wanted to grow one from its little bitty oregano, rosemary, and I was able to grow it as well. And I'm based in San Antonio, Texas, y'all. Just so if you're aware. And I have no livestock yet. I still need to I'm still debating. Still got to debate with my fiance to ensure that she's okay with livestock because I got to get her go ahead before I can go right ahead. But she said if I bring any kind of livestock, I need to get her a dog. So, compromise has to occur right there. So, yeah. So please share where you're joining us from. What do you produce or hope to produce on your farm/ranch? And what type of livestock do you hope to raise or do you raise on your farm? And at this moment, while y'all are answering, I'd love Uriah to join us. If y'all are not aware, Uriah is our amazing, knowledgeable grower with us. And he hates when I call him an expert, but he's the most knowledgeable individual I know when it comes to growing methodology. And he is a wealth. When I say a wealth of knowledge, I mean a wealth of knowledge. So I'm always learning every time he shares anything with me. So yeah, it's been 2 minutes. We've had some people answer. You right? Want to share with our guests some of your what you are growing and where you're joining us from before I share their answers.
Yeah, I'm in the same area with Uche, the San Antonio area. Man, I got some melons growing,
Ooh,
honeydew, cantaloupe, watermelons, different varieties. And hey, Uche, like I said earlier when we were
uh-huh.
talking, I said that all agriculture is experiment, right? Experimental.
Yes, sir.
So you just gotta try it and just hope that everything goes well. Because you can have the best laid plans and shoot.
It doesn't work out.
It
And I
doesn't work out.
and I know that for sure because I have killed a few plants. A few is an understatement. I don't want to say 100 because then I'll make myself look terrible. But I have experimented with so many different things. Carrots. This is like my fifth potato plant that I'm going through. My oregano is thriving, which I'm proud
Mm.
of. So I got my soil right. My soil was done right this time. So I'm so excited about that. So yeah, well, let me share some of the answers we got. So from our icebreaker, we have some amazing people. We have South Dallas in the house. We have North Carolina, whoo, by way of Tennessee. Welcome, welcome. And we got Pflugerville, Texas in the house as well. The P is silent. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Uh, and now, what the second question is, what do you produce or hope to produce on your farms as ranch?
Mm.
One of our guests said potatoes. Okay, okay, potato family, let's go. Yellow squash, green peppers, and tomatoes. I love that. Another guest said grass and hat for feed. Hat? Maybe they meant hay for feed. Hay. I believe hay was what
Yeah,
was.
probably hay.
Yeah. And then the guest said, attempt to grow some veggies and herbs in the backyard. You and me both, y'all. Like I am attempting every single day. And I'm excited to learn about today's topic because whew, it is hot outside. The summer is coming down. We had some good rain, but that rain did not help, in my opinion, because this heat is overbearing. This
Oh,
heat, yeah, water is great,
no.
but the heat. I know that's why we're here. That's why we're here,
Yeah,
Uriah. You
yeah.
gotta educate me, and I'm sure everyone on this. And the last question was, what type of livestock do you raise or hope to raise on your farm/ranch? Now, majority of guests said none. You, all of y'all that said none, I'm there too. A guest said chickens. Now, I love me a good chicken. No, I love it so much. I learned how to cut a chicken down like into pieces and whatnot. If you're a vegetarian, I'm sorry. I do it humanely, and I don't, I try to get fresh chicken, and I actually learn how to cut it down humanely. And it was a beautiful experience learning that, especially from some of the folks that taught me, because they taught me like, understanding what the meaning of life was and why it's important to take care of the animal before you get to that position of
Mhm.
serving as nourishment for your body. So I'm always appreciative of life, of any kind of life. Even plants are living beings as well. Awesome. Well, those are our answers. Now, I'm so excited because I'm here to introduce the amazing, the most knowledgeable person. He says that he's not an expert, but he is way more knowledgeable than I am and anyone that I know. And he's going to be talking about how to prepare your garden for the summer. If you
Mm.
all know, if you're in Texas, you already know this heat can be something else.
Yeah.
The ground, our soil can dry up a little too fast. Our soil might not be able to retain the water like we wanted to. Even when we put a cover on the soil, it just does not help because that heat is just a lot. But Uriah is going to be sharing his insights on how to prepare your garden, how to prepare your soil for the hot summer. And I know it's going to be hot because we had a lot of rain. It was a little colder than normal this last winter time. So, the Texas weather, extreme cold, extreme heat. And it never
Mm.
fails. It never fails already. Out in San Antonio, we're already getting up to 80 something degree weather, and it's not even the peak of summer yet. So, Uriah, I'm going to give it to you always. And as well, all our guests, if you have any questions, feel free to write it in the chat or use our Q&A functionality. We want to keep this as engaging as possible, and I know everyone is coming with questions. I have a few questions I've written down because I'm here to learn. I wanted to sneak some in earlier, and Uriah was like, "Do not do that. You better ask me the questions during the knowledge forum." I said, "Yes, sir. I got you." But yeah, Uriah, take it away, sir.
All right. Uche, like I said earlier, at the very, 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 very beginning, is that all agriculture is experimental and you have to get your hands dirty. I believe in reading books, but I believe in there's a Chinese proverb that says it's better to walk 1,000 steps than to read 1,000 books because you get a chance to like you have the wisdom that comes from experience. And I think that, you just got to do it, man. Just do it and have fun doing it. Laugh at yourself because it's going to be funny and, have a good time. And so I'm ready to share. Uche, should I go ahead and share? All right. All right. Okay. So the name of this presentation is Preparing Your Summer Garden. And we're gonna have a lot of fun today. So I see we have a small group. So I love these intimate groups. So you guys can ask questions, and I'm pretty sure that Uche has the ability to let people speak too. So we're just gonna get started. All right. So it is still spring, right? So when is summer? When does it start? What date does summer officially start? Officially. Anybody? I'm going five. Oh, somebody in the chat.
We have June 20th from Fawn. Thank you, Fawn. June 20th is her answer.
Bingo. So that's when June 20th is the summer solstice. Well, that's a poor. Anyway, but that's the summer solstice right there. This is like the longest days of the year. It's like the day will never end. And this is a beautiful thing. And so we want to know what season we're in, and we're gonna come full circle around with that, okay? And so here we go. So we're talking about growing your summer garden in Texas, not any other city, but we're talking about Texas. And matter of fact, Texas is massive. So I speak to people in Houston, I speak to people in Dallas, and it's like night and day. These places are like radically different from each other. And so one thing I do, I know that right here in Central Texas, you were kind of right on the edge of a desert. If we start going west, we're going to get in some really hot, dry, sandy areas. Okay. And even though sunlight, along with water and soil, are key components for healthy foliage, we still have to like learn how to grow things in this type of climate. All right. So, getting ready for your summer garden. Now, I'm going to read this definition of asset because I think it's so cool. And it says that, let me move my thing out the way here. An asset is a resource with economic value that an individual, corporation, or country owns or controls with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. What is the what is the most what's your biggest asset in your garden? What's your biggest asset? I'm going to be asking a bunch of questions today. What is your biggest asset in your garden? I see a bunch of answers, Uche.
I think I chimed in and said my soil.
Okay. And who else said soil?
I believe Fawn shared that soil as well.
Okay. Soil is the biggest asset on your farm. Okay. Your farm, your porch, your little space, your big space, the soil is the biggest asset. Okay. Um, so this is the thing we're going to kind of focus on as we talk today. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, but soil is that biggest asset, and a lot of people spend a lot of money trying to prepare their soil. And that's like, I'll be honest with you, soil is the number one reason why a lot of farms and gardens fail because the soil is poor, it's not properly prepared, and it might need something that you might not have put into the soil. Okay. But that's the number one reason why a lot of gardens are failing. So let's say you have a garden site and you want to check your soil health without expensive lab tests. You don't want to, I don't have a lot of money to spend. So this picture right here is this is a soil test bag from probably a extension office. And so there's three ways you can check your soil on your land. The first one is to take it like this and grab it with your fist and hold it, squeeze it, and let's see if it breaks down. When you open your fist, it should either be like one clump or it should break down slowly. And you can see a lot by just holding it tight. If you hold it tight and it just falls apart, it's probably has some type of sandy soil. If you squeeze it tight and it just stays like that, you might have some really serious clay. And then if you squeeze it and it begins to crumble in your hand slowly, you have some nice loam with probably some really nice organic matter in that soil. And that's what you really want. Okay. Another test, if you have a garden site is to do a water test to see how long it takes for the water to drain off of your site. A lot of times people, we had a lot of rain these last couple of weeks, and sometimes this water will just pool in the middle of your yard or your garden, and you'll say like, man, that water won't drain down. That is because the type of soil you have, it might be a clay type of soil where the water doesn't go down as well as it should. Now, I have a lot of sand where I'm at, and the next thing I'm going to say is what kind of insects and wildlife are in your soil? Do you see some earthworms? Do you see some type of bugs in your soil, or is it just some old dry, sandy stuff and you don't see really anything? And so seeing earthworms, seeing certain types of bugs can show you that you have a really nice loamy type of soil. And those are three simple ways that you can look at your soil and say, something, I have some good stuff here. I used to think I found out that first of all, in sand, you don't see worms, but you do see a lot of ants and you see a lot of gophers. And guess what they're doing? They're aerating. They're digging around and they're bringing organic matter into the soil. And I guess one day succession will take place and the location might not be as hospitable for gophers or ants. It might just transform with everything that they're doing. Okay. So, but those three things. All right. Um,
We have some
so
people, sorry to
go ahead.
interrupt. We have some people in the chat say snails, beetles, and
Mhm.
earthworms. That's what some folks have shared in the
Uh,
soil.
that's good. Snails, not a big fan of snails, but everything has its purpose. If they're eating up your cabbage or they're eating up your leafy greens, that's not good. But yeah, the earthworms is the top notch. That's what you want to see in your soil if you have that type of soil, right? Okay. So this picture right here, they said they have 1,300 different kinds of soil recognized in Texas. So you have to figure out what kind of soil do I have? What do I need to do? Is my soil perfect, or do I need to amend it? What do I need to do to make sure that my garden is going to grow as well as I like it to grow? I want to produce for my family. I'm just curious. Either way, I want to be successful. So what do I need to do to provide the proper nutrients, the proper type of soil texture, the body of the soil? What do I need to do to be successful in my garden? And this is really amazing. It says I'm just going to read some Texas soils, whether heavy black clay in central North Texas or sandy loam in the coastal regions, greatly benefit from organic matter. I'm so glad I read that. Organic matter, organic matter, organic matter. You always got to blend that in with your soils. So let's keep on going here. Let's see here. Soil prep in Texas requires combating extreme heat and drought by focusing on organic amendments and moisture retention. And so that right there is what we're going to kind of talk about today. And this is what we're dealing with here in Texas, especially Central Texas, South Central Texas. We're looking at a lot of extreme heats, and then on top of that, most of the states still in a drought, even though we've had, several, we have some couple of days of really good rain. But what's going on is that the state still is suffering from a drought. So you have to figure out how do I capture the precipitation that comes on my site for my plants, for myself, for my well-being, right? And because well, I don't care. Well, let me say this: your soil could be really good, but if you don't have any precipitation or water, it's not going to do well, right? We all know that. Okay, so let's keep on going here. Oh, there's a picture right here. It says expanded shale. And this is an amendment if you have clay soil. And I said to myself, somebody's going to say, if I have clay soil, what do I need to do? So that's what you find. You use expanded shale, and that's what you mix in with clay soil to make it not as what is it? tight or is very tight. The particles in sand are very tiny and they stick together. So shale is one of the things that you can use to amend clay-like soil. All right. This is absolutely a must. And like I think it probably sounded like a broken record because some of these things are just these are just principles you just can't get around. And so mulching is one of those things. There's no way. See, we said that your greatest asset in your garden is soil. So here you buy all this stuff, right? And you fix up your garden, plant all your things in there, but you didn't mulch it, you didn't cover it up. Say, hey, I'm gonna protect you and make sure that you are safe. So mulch is that item. This is something that you must use to protect your soil and keep the moisture in your soil. Um, y- you know, uh, I'm at a place right now. It's kind of windy here because it's kind of wide open. And if when I put down the mulch, sometimes I use a straw, sometimes I use wood shavings, sometimes I use dried grass just to cover it up. But if it's too dry, when the wind blows, it's gone. So I have to figure out a way, like I might do something a little bit heavier, maybe some wood chips, and just to make sure that the soil is still holding that valuable moisture. There's nothing more valuable than that precipitation when it comes down, and you want to make sure that everything is working in tandem so you can be successful. All right. All right, here we go. So these are some types of mulch, some different types of mulches on the left here inside. You see those are organic mulches. You got your shredded or chipped wood. If you know somebody that's in the woodworking, I got a guy, good friend of mine. He's a woodworker. He's a millwright, so he always has bags of wood chips, wood shavings. So he always texts me and say, "Hey, got some wood shavings?" I go get them, and these things are very valuable for your garden. You got your wood bark, shredded leaves, leaf mold, dry mold, excuse me, mold grass, I should say, because you want to put mold grass in there, something that's going to absorb the moisture when it falls from the sky. Okay, you have straw, cocoa bean shells. I've never used those, but I'm looking forward to trying that. Pine needles and mushroom compost. On the other side, somebody mentioned seashells and stone. I've never used seashells, but I have used stone before. And then I didn't put this in there, but I did notice that somebody even said rolled glass, not sharp, but I guess it's went through some process where it's not as dangerous. And in this slide here, this wasn't even supposed to be here, but I'm gonna say it. It says avoid putting it down in early spring, which can keep cold soil cool longer and delay perennials from emerging. Here you've trapped the coolness into the soil, and so therefore the warmth that's necessary is not happening. Okay. And so let's keep on going here. Any comments or questions, Uche, that I see 10 comments in there.
I actually want to share that one of the comments came in, but it only came to us hosts and panelists. Trisha Ray has placed an order for a chip drop. So
Mm.
she said if anyone wants some, to hit her up or let her know. So I'll be sharing Trisha's information with everyone as well. And
Okay.
Angela said pecan shells. It's also an
Ooh.
option. Yes.
All right. So once again, I like that. I've been waiting for a chip drop now for like 6 months. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. So, but mulching is essential. Mulching is essential. You can't get around it. All right. Okay. And I have my notes that said mulching is non-negotiable. I must mulch. All right. Here we go. In your summer garden, you have to relax with the heavy fertilizing. Um, you got excess nutrients that could really damage your plants if you try to like, I'm gonna go hard this year. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. It's summertime, relax, everybody relax, right? And so you might want to use some type of compost instead, something that will slow release and break down slowly. Uchi, I see like 14 comments. Anything, anybody?
We are talking about chip drops. Don't worry, keep going. I'll let you
Okay,
know.
keep going. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Okay. So you want to spread 2 to 3 inches if you have it over your soil to protect your soil. Once again, that valuable asset, you have to protect it and make another layer over it and make sure that it stays moist as well as you can. With this heat, sometimes it's hard to do that. But this is one of the ways that you can protect your soil and the moisture in your soil. All right. All right. Another thing you must do in your summer garden, you must switch to efficient watering. This is crucial. So, along with all these other things, see now this thing is getting complex. I gotta water this thing. So you want to make sure that you water early in the morning, 4 a.m. to like around 10 o'clock, 10 in the morning. You're out there watering. Do not go out there when it's super hot. Your plants are not going to be happy about that. So you want to give them the good drink in the morning. Make sure when you do water, you're not just, sprinkling a little bit here and there. You want to give them a good inch of rain, an inch of water with your hose, or however else you're using it. If you're using, I strongly suggest if you have it, depending on how big your garden is too, um, you might not you might not find it necessary to have a drip irrigation system. 6, 8 feet, 10 feet, it comes in handy and you'll just turn it on. And next thing you know, it's just dripping the moisture to your plants. And I think these things this is something that's really, really good to have. I actually like watering things, but my watering can, but this is like so efficient, just turn it on, time it, and let it do its thing.
Uriah, we have a question from the
Yes, sir.
chat. From Mrs. Tyler. Are terracotta watering pots good for the summer?
Are ter Yeah, absolutely. Are terracotta parts good for the summer? Yes. Yes, they are. Um, yep, they are. And I'll also say, there's different I do want to jump into this. There's different types of watering methods. I use a Oye sometimes, which is Mexican, and I'm not sure. I think it came from like Mexico or Central America or South America, where it is a terracotta pot, and so you bury it. It has a little thing on top of it, or like a lid. You fill it with water, and the moisture literally the plants smell it, go to the Oye and attach themselves to it, and it feeds the plants that are around it. And I think that's actually absolutely genius. And there's a lot of ancient wisdom that's out there. And so if you get a chance, I do like terracotta pots. If you have the opportunity to use those, yep, I think that's smart. Absolutely smart. Better than plastic. Okay, better than plastic. Okay. Um, okay, here we go. Any questions about this? I'm trying to see if I covered everything with that.
I think you did.
Okay. Uh, some people use, I will say this, my father was one of those guys that like to use a like a sprinkler system, overhead sprinkler system. He loved that thing. He turned it on and water would be going back and forth like this. And over time I began to realize it's kind of wasteful. But it was efficient, And if you have to use that, that's all right. You want to get the job done. You want to be efficient with your techniques and make sure that you're doing what you can to keep your plants alive. All right. This is this is something that I think all of us need to get used to. I was born and raised up north, Boston, Massachusetts, and so a lot of these things I've never heard of. I remember pawpaws, plums, but never Mexican plums, persimmons, Chickasaw plum. So you want to, for your summer garden, to help, with this drought tolerant, you want something that's drought tolerant. And so you might want to use some native fruit trees and native vegetables. This is huge. Make sure you have something that's suitable for the weather. It's like, man, we're used to this. We can do that. We good. Just put me in the ground and I'm all right. And one thing I do use, I have several mulberry trees planted here. And so like, they're just awesome, just growing. And somebody told me, the native fruit trees, you don't really have to do much. Okay. You don't have to do much. You go to your nursery, say, where are your natives at? They'll show you what's growing, what can do well where you live. Okay. Very important. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to talk about what you should be trying to grow right now if you're trying to grow something. So crops that will germinate with the soil temperature above 70, and you see there tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, cucumbers, squash, corn, melons. These guys love this temperature. They don't want that 110-degree microwave type of heat, but they do well in this type of soil. Now, I have a whole list of plants I'm gonna go through real quick, but tomatoes, that nightshade family, the tomatoes, the eggplant, and the peppers, I might not. That's a certain type of family of vegetables, and if I was a beginner, I might. Has anybody ever tried started some tomatoes by seed on this list, or maybe even peppers or eggplant? Anybody on this list? You have. All right.
I have. Joe says he has. I believe that's a he. I'm sorry. If not, Angela says I have as well. So a number of us. I did peppers, and they grew not
Nice.
to the size I was expecting, but they grew.
Yeah.
Tomatoes never created no tomatoes. The
Mhm.
vines came out, but no tomatoes actually formed. So
Wow.
that was my fault.
No, no, it's all right. I mean, it's good to try. As the note says, these are slow growing and take many weeks to grow to the stage where you can plant them out in the garden. So, if what I was gonna say is like, you just want to don't be discouraged. It just takes a long time. Some things grow super fast. They germinate quickly and they just get moving.
Mhm.
So if I was a beginner, I'm probably going to go to the nursery and buy these guys. So all those guys, tomatoes, eggplant, peppers. I'm just going to buy them. Then put them in the ground. They're already hardened and prepared to go into the ground. And so like, because there's a technique to growing tomato from seed, then getting it hardened or ready for the weather outside, after it's been growing in maybe a greenhouse or you inside your house, and now you have to take it outside. You have to kind of like
Mm.
go back and forth with it until it's ready to go outside. And so like, and if you really want to grow them, I would go to a nursery and, buy some seedlings.
We
And
have
then
some.
go ahead.
I was gonna say we have some comments coming in.
Yes, sir.
Noel Nash says cherry tomatoes. That's what was grown.
Okay.
Angela says three of my pepper plants are 2 to 3 years old. Wow,
Woo.
great job, Angela. I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. Mine died. Mine died. Miss Tyler says, does the soil temperature for containers, gardens need to be the same?
Ooh, good question. Yes. Yes. And it's going to be the same. And a word of warning for your container. Now, I'm not sure who asked that question. Are you talking about a container raised bed or are you talking about a flower pot?
Mrs. Tyler asked the question, and I'll give her time to share if it's, she says totes.
Oh, totes. Okay. So they're word of advice, they're gonna dry out quickly. It's gonna dry out quickly. It's not like it's planted out in the yard where it can actually kind of find its own moisture. And pots and totes, things like that, they will dry out much faster because it's a small amount of soil. And so you have to water those guys probably every day, and you want to check your soil, make sure that stick your finger in there, make sure that it needs watering. You don't want to overwater, you will kill it. And so but you do want to water it regularly. And if you don't, it will dry out and you'll wonder what happened. because you have to water pots and totes and things like that. If you have it on the porch, you have to always water these guys. And when I say water, I'm not saying just drip some on top of it. You have to water it so the water literally goes through and was it goes through the pot and comes right out the bottom of it. And so you can see the water like going through. You have to do that. Otherwise, you're not doing the plant any service.
Mrs. Tyler shared in addition, that's why I asked about the terracotta pots,
Mm.
if that would help to keep the watering, I guess, continually flowing through
Oh yeah,
the
the
totes.
terracotta are excellent. I would, yeah, absolutely. Are they outside? Are the pots outside?
Let's see. Yes, they are.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Outside, then next question is, are they like in full sunlight? Are they in a shady area? And I grow a lot of things and I have like one place where it's just nothing but sunlight. But then I have a side of of the building where it's kind of shady. It gets maybe four 4 hours of like just good sunlight. But I don't want it to get like I said, that microwave heat. So you can move around. One of your jobs is to find the spaces around your house where the sunlight is not as severe. Because severe sunlight, nothing can really tolerate that severe sunlight. Nothing. All right.
So
Then he,
she said yes and full. So yes, they are outside and it's full sunlight.
what can I ask what's growing in those pots?
Let's give her some time to respond. And I do believe she mentioned this is the kind of interaction I love, y'all. Okra, cucumbers, and onions.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, them okra, that's nice. Okra, cucumbers, yep. Cool. So, and you've grown you obviously you like these and you grow them already. I can All right, I'm going to go through a list of things here. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, these are the ones we just mentioned. And so okra, my family's not a big fan of okra, but I'm gonna grow a bunch of it. I don't care. And so okra's nice, man. So full sun, 50 to 65 days from planting to harvest. Okra has large, hairy leaves as well. As a matter of fact, when you start harvesting these guys, be careful about it rubbing up against your skin. It will give you like a little welt. Um, but oh, yeah, it's right there. Your skin irritation, consider wearing gloves and long sleeves. Um, and the good companions with these guys is beans and peas, herbs, basil, oregano, and then your sunflowers I can't see right there. But anyway, but that's okra. That's a full sun plant. It loves the sunlight, and you will have to definitely have to like water it if it's in a tote or you said a terracotta pot. All right. Now, these are the seeds from okra. If I was planting okra, they're like little BBs, a little bit smaller than this, and I would definitely do it by seed. They grow really fast. One method I do use is the paper towel. I'll just put some in the paper towel, soak it, wet it, and just let it do it for overnight. Just put it right in the ground. Because the seeds, what they need to be is imbibed with water. That gets everything in gear. Everything is like all systems a go once it has that water, and you just plant it. Then now here you go with the warmth, and now your plants are growing. That's it. There's nothing you can do to stop them. So that's what the okra seed looks like. And so our next plant is sweet potatoes. This is another one of my favorites. Sweet potatoes, 100 to 120 days from planting to harvest. It's very important that and we're going to talk about this near the end of this, is that your growing time. What's your window? You don't want to plant sweet potatoes was in October. It won't have enough time, right? Because you know that December and winter time is coming. And so I'm gonna go to this next slide because this is I who here hasn't done this, right? Everybody's done this, right? Uche, you did this, right? So some people just grow these just like this. It's just a beautiful plant, goes nuts, and they're really, really, really easy to grow. If you have children, have them do this. You put it. Does anybody raise your hand or give me a clap or something? Show me that you've done this already, because I know there's only 9 of us here. Like this. Do I need to talk about this? This is sweet potatoes. This is a superfood. This is a superfood. I think that, we really should, we have to get back to basics. These grow really well. They like sandy soil. And so, you want to make sure that they have that, this is like a root or tuber. So it grows in the ground. It does not need to have to fight its way through the soil. So this is what you want to do. And sweet potatoes got my vote. All right. Peppers. This is something else I really like I like growing peppers, and you can see there's many varieties. So you have 60 to 150 days from planting to harvest with peppers. So there's all kinds. I love cayenne, Scotch bonnet, and so you see all the companions. It goes well with all of these herbs that we like to cook with, right? And so just do this. And once again, peppers I would probably buy by seedling if I could find somebody that has the seedlings. You got some Scotch bonnet already ready for me to. I'm taking those instead of like waiting. Well, but also too, you could buy some seedlings that are ready to go on the ground, and then you have another set that's growing in the house, getting ready for another. Maybe 2 or 3 months later, you put another batch of peppers outside. Okay, and so these are pepper seedlings right here growing.
Uriah, sorry to interrupt, but we have a
Yes, sir.
question in the chat regarding sweet potatoes.
Mm.
The growing method used with the sweet potatoes, can these be done with any type of sweet potato? Or for all types of sweet potato, Japanese purple are Mrs. Tyler's favorite. And she wants to know if you can do this or use this growing method with any sweet potato.
That's a good question, and I would be crazy to say yes because I've never grown a Japanese sweet potato before. But see, that brings me to this point. Um, and I was telling Uche this earlier. Read, 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 read. Ad nauseum, right? And if it is a sweet potato, it probably has very very similar traits as these sweet potatoes here. And so, and let's be real, these are just the sweet potatoes that are grown in the United States for the United States market. But if you go around the world, there's probably so many different varieties of these guys. And but I've never grown the Japanese sweet potato. I might try that now that you've talked about it. And you just have to let me ask a question. The person that asked that question, have you grown these before, the Japanese sweet potatoes?
This was asked by Mrs. Tyler.
Mrs. Tyler. Okay. So yeah,
And she has not, no, she says no.
okay. Yeah, I would give it a shot. I would give it a shot. I would use the method in that jar right there. That's exactly what I would do. I would just put it right in the water and allow it to germinate. The shoots grow once they get as long as your hand. You can twist them off. Then you put those in water and they will begin to put out their own root systems. And then you can just plant those right in the ground. And you can have almost an infinite number of sweet potatoes as long as you keep doing that. Yep.
She shared that she has some sprouting right now, and we'll do that. Thank you.
Excellent. So we talked about peppers. I'm getting too close to my ear. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's another winner. So southern peas, people call them cow peas, black-eyed peas, purple whole peas. This right here, 55 to 70 days, that's very, very, very fast, right? Once you germinate these, if you want to, you can do it, like I said, in a paper towel or just wet them overnight, put them in the ground. They're going to take off. And so you want to do this. These right here will feed you and your family. And I just think these are a great a great item to grow. You want to be successful. You say, hey, I know what I'm doing. These guys are the ones right here. Uche, have you ever grown any beans before?
I have not grown any, but I am thinking about it. I actually have some seeds. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
some purple hull peas seeds,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna test them out. I'm gonna test them out.
yeah. Okay, excellent. I know my listeners definitely have tried these. Beans, they just grow fast. You don't have to do much to them and they will sustain you. Okay. All right. These are some bean seeds. And matter of fact, I once received a bag of beans from a food bank in Atlanta that were 10 years old. They were outdated, 10 years old. I planted about 20 of them and all of them sprouted. And we just grew these beans. And so like beans are like they're like above average when it comes to germination and growth. They're just ready to go. Okay, in the right conditions. Melons, cantaloupe, watermelon, companions, marigolds, and all these. I mean, I can't even see. Hold on. Okay, whoops. Basil, beans, corn, radishes. Once again, watermelon's a big seed, nice size seed, and it will take off and grow. I know Uche's growing some watermelons. He told me he was going to grow some last couple of weeks ago.
Hey, I'm still learning now, trying to get my soil right, but I am going to. I have the seeds. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna
How
make it
many?
happen.
Let me see a show. Give me some type of sign, claps or something. Who's growing watermelons on this group? I know. Look, we look. We like watermelons. Let's not. We ain't playing. There we go. One thumbs up.
We got thumbs up.
Got
We
thumbs
got
up,
one
man.
that says I am,
I am
and she also
okay.
said she grows peas and snap beans and
Mm.
Kentucky wonders.
Oh yes. There you go. There you go. There you go. Watermelons, man. You could get rich off of them jokers.
Oh, Mrs. Tyler has a hand up. You have a question, Mrs. Tyler? Oh, hold on. Oh no, she put her hand down.
Okay, she put her hand down. Okay. But yeah, watermelons, cantaloupes, honeydews, they'll once they get started, the vines are very long and they will grow. They grow really fast and they do need to be watered and they do not want to be like sitting in muddy water. They want to be able to just grow. Um, Good organic soil with these guys. Matter of fact, sandy soil is good for watermelons too. I would mix some sand in there. They want to be able to drain. They don't want to be sitting in some mud. Okay. Um, they grow fast, but I don't have a time of how long they take. So I know it's about 3 months to grow a decent water, depending on the variety. Because my father used to grow sugar babies in Boston, and sugar baby is about this big, and it's like dark green. It's really like an individual watermelon, and it had a short growing period, but it was perfect for where we were at. And so, yeah, but I like them big jumbos like this, right? Ah, agriculture is awesome. And so these are some seeds right here. And I harvested a bunch of seeds. I've actually some of them are growing right now outside, but you can just this is a great exercise. You should save seeds from your favorite fruits and vegetables. We're talking about seeds, and we're looking at a time right now, inflation. I mean, we was talking about this earlier, Uche, right? Inflation and everything's going on. There might be a day where you might not be able to get any seeds. Is that possible? I don't want to go there, but that could be very possible, right? And you might be that only guy that got seeds and watermelon seeds and got them going. So, want to save seeds. Inside of every seed is a baby plant waiting to germinate. Every seed. Okay. All right. Cucumbers, full sun, 50 to 60 days, very fast. They grow very fast, right? Once again, your marigolds, basil, and beans. Uh-huh. Big flowers, big leaves, vines. Yeah, they're gonna do it. All right. Let me see here. That's the cucumber seeds. Summer squash, full sun, 60 days. They grow very, very fast. I have a gigantic summer squash plant growing in my compost right now. I guess when I put the squash into the compost, there was a bunch of seeds. They really liked where they were at, and they just took over. Ooh, I'm gonna send you a picture of this thing. You're gonna laugh. The leaves are like this big.
Please send
It
it to
just
me. Please.
I'm gonna send it to you. You're gonna say like what? And it's in my compost. Um, so they're growing, and there's a ton of flowers. I don't have any fruit yet, but it's growing really fast. I didn't mention composting. I do not have that in my lesson at all. Everybody should be composting on here. It's going to be crucial. We're talking about fertilizer is going to be shortages due to the war, and inflation, and gas shortages. Everybody should be composting to make sure you have what you need for your garden site. And these are some of the seeds from a squash. Well, that's a zucchini actually, but they kind of look alike. I see a lot of 45. I don't know, Uche, what they saying.
We do have a question.
Yes,
Mrs.
sir.
Tyler, she said, have you had any issues with squash vine bugs? This has
No.
kept me from trying squash.
Oh no. Yeah, just try, man. Get your hands dirty. It's all right. Just give it a shot. I use hold on for 1 second.
So now Uriah's going to bring some props out. Hope you're ready.
So right here, this is what I use for like bugs.
What's the
Not
name? What's the name,
This is called
Uriah's?
BT. Is an organic kind of pesticide. You can spray it. It stops the little caterpillars and different bugs from attacking. I'm not sure if you can really see that, Uche. Let me see if I can. BT. And you can get this from like Walmart, I think. Walmart
I,
or of course what's it? Home Depot.
I
You
put
know, I
in
don't
the
know.
I put in the comments. So
You
BT
did?
organic pesticides. Yeah, I put
Yes.
in the
Yeah, there
comments.
it is. Pretty good. It's a small bottle, and you dilute this and you spray it on your plants. And once it rains, you have to spray it again. Okay. Okay. This is but I want whoever said I didn't want to try it because of the bugs. I just want you to give it a shot, you know?
Yeah,
And so
That was Mrs. Tyler. And Joe said, I tried squash for the first time this year and already harvested three. So we have some
wow.
success.
Wow, that's nice. So okay, all right. Uh-oh. Let me see. Hold on, wait a minute. Where's my picture? Okay, went away for a second. Holy basil likes full sun. Um, I think I only have one herb here, but I have a bunch of holy basil. I have spearmint, peppermint, rosemary, so have some oregano, and you must have the herbs, right, for your cooking. I got a ton of onions growing. So you need all these guys right here for they're medicinal, they season your food, and they're just beautiful. And so like you definitely want to have like holy basil growing. I think that's the only herb I have in this whole thing. And I would, a lot of these guys will if you want to propagate them, you can take a piece off. I use a rooting what is it called? Rooting hormone and make sure it's wet. Then I, try to germinate it to make it grow its own roots. You got to play with it, experiment with it, and sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does. That's the fun part, right? So here we go. Uh, okay, what's going on here?
We have a follow-up question regarding herbs,
Yes, sir.
Uriah.
Yes.
Joe says, my mint is really struggling. Any tips?
Hmm.
I have the same question because my mint's died.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, Joe's mints is struggling. Mine died. So is it our soil or what are we doing wrong?
So what I think I said earlier to the audience that I have several different locations on site where I grow, and one of them is on the side of the house where the sun hits it, but it's not like direct. It's kind of like speckled a little bit. So that's where my spearmint is. And and so therefore it's not getting hit with that microwave heat and it's doing well. And I have it in it's in a big molasses bucket. And when I put it in, it was about this big and it just went bananas once I did that. And so I think a big one of the keys to growing in this hot climate is to sometimes plants don't need to be in full sunlight. Even though the thing says full sunlight, you might say, hmm, we got some strong full sunlight. Maybe I need to, behind this tree or something like that. And that's my suggestion. And of course, you want to make sure your soil is qualitative, Um, but my experiment just went, I didn't have to do anything to it, but it was kind of like it probably got maybe 4 to 5 hours of sunlight. So it wasn't like full sunlight.
Mrs. Tyler has her hand raised, but I will. Oh, I guess she asked the question here. Joe's responded, "Okay, thank you. I placed it in full sun. I'll
Mm,
move it, and see what happens."
yes.
I should have done that for my mint. I had my mint like by the window sill, but I think the sun was hitting that window, and
Yeah.
that's where it affected it. And Miss Tyler, oh, she asked the question: Any tips to keep neighborhood cats from destroying my garden?
Ah. Oh man, I don't
Yeah,
like that.
that's yeah, me neither.
Um I haven't had that problem. I'm trying to think. What I'm thinking is I'll tell you something. I had rabbits, and I know it's a different animal, but I sprinkle cayenne pepper all around certain areas. No animal likes cayenne pepper. I don't care what it is. You could have a dog chasing, you could spray that joker with that cayenne. He's gonna be like, yo, he's backing away. And I think the same thing, like rabbits, deer, cats, they use their nose for a lot of stuff. They're always sniffing around. Once they get a blast of that cayenne garlic mixture, they don't want to come around. They say like, oh, that's the garlic, that's the cayenne place. Let me stay away from there. So yeah, that's what I do. Uh any more comments, Uche? Did I get everybody?
Mrs. Tyler just responded, "We had rabbits in our school garden."
Mm,
And then Fawn said, "I was going to ask about netting to cover the plants. I have lots of rabbits, squirrels, and birds in my yard." So Fawn has like, she has some other I guess small space animals or that in her yard to act as fertilizer, I presume. So she would
okay.
rather use netting than the cayenne to save them.
Wait. She has small. Why does she want to use the cayenne? Why again?
She will not use it because well she's going to ask about using netting to cover the plants. She has a lot of rabbits,
Hmm.
squirrels, and birds in her yard.
Okay. Okay. So you don't want to use the cayenne because
She has
uh
small livestock. She uses small livestock
oh
within
these are
her.
live. These are pets
Yeah,
and stuff like. Oh okay. Okay.
but
That
she responded. I didn't even think about cayenne pepper, but maybe Fawn, if you want to respond and see if that's something you want to try, or if you have your small livestock a part of your ecosystem, that could be an option to see what works best for your small
mm,
space garden.
it's definitely going to keep the rabbits away and squirrels. They don't like that. Um, I have bird like what's it bird like these little bird feeder things and they have cayenne in it. The birds it doesn't bother birds don't have an ability to like taste the cayenne, but the squirrels they're like no way I don't want that and they stay away because I don't want my squirrels eating up all my bird seed. So let me see something.
Fa-
Anything else, Uche?
Fawn says, "No, they're not pets, but I have big trees in my yard."
Ah, yeah. Try that cayenne. Cayenne is amazing, man. They do not like that. They do not like it's strong. You know, I use I bought like bags of cayenne, like they were like a 8.5 by 11 bag of cayenne pepper, sprinkled it everywhere. And it stopped everybody like just chilled. It was over with. No, I have netting for the deer, but the cayenne pepper just all animals stopped. They said like, no, thank you. And so yeah, try cayenne. It's inexpensive and it works. All right. Okay. This is something I mention all the time. Spacing. Right now, I have my yard looks kind of like this. I planted some tomatoes and I went away for about a week and I didn't get a chance to cage them properly. And my wife, thank goodness, she rescued me, and she put these cages, she got a hold of them and got them under control. But spacing is so important. You have to read the labels on the plants and how big are they. You know, tomato plants 18 to 24 inches apart from each other because they will grow into each other. They just gonna grow big. And you have to know what they're gonna look like once they get to mature size. Okay. So I'm gonna keep on going with that. Ah, what time is it? So right now we are in May, and if you're trying to grow watermelons, you have plenty of time because around here, it doesn't start getting really cool till like maybe like late November, sometimes, you know. So growing season, we're not dealing with no frost, but the first frost date is important. That's usually in November. And San Antonio, it says 11/12 at the very bottom. So this is when you're probably going to get, and we're not even close to there, so we don't really have much to worry about. But you always want to know, like, how much time will it take for me to get a watermelon? How much time will it take me to get a harvest of sweet potatoes? I want these for Thanksgiving, and so you want to make sure that I plant them on the right time. So when I do get them, it'll be perfect timing. And a lot of these vegetables need to cure. So you just can't like take it out the ground and eat it. You got to let it sit somewhere, a couple of weeks so that it's suitable to eat. And so you have to take all that into account when you're growing. What's your growing season like? What's going to happen? And each one of them, I'm looking at San Antonio says first frost is 11/12. Let me see. I'm trying to look up top Arlington 11/14. Very similar. Laredo is 12/5. So like, we know that you start getting to the cool season, your first frost could happen. And it's terrible losing plants to frost, right? Nobody likes that. It's like, oh man. And the frost killed them. So you just want to be aware. Keep your eye on the news. And so what's your growing season? This is one of them other factors. So here we see May 5/26. That's today's date, right? And then you have all the way to November. So you have 6 months of growing to grow like warm season crops. That's a lot, man. If you're planting beans, I can see staggering them every 2 to 3 weeks. You could have bags of beans, feed your whole block, watermelons, whatever. And so very important to know this. You have to like pay attention to the time. How much time do I really have to do this? And go for it. And then this next slide here. So here you have your fall planting. I want to plant some things that's going to do well in a cooler temperature than the warm season. So maybe I said September 1st. It still might be warm. You got to play it by ear because you might want, now here you're trying to plant some white potatoes that need a cooler temperature than a sweet potato. So you might want to put it in September 1st. Just give it a shot. Everything's experimental, right? So you got to just give it a shot. Have faith. But and then we see something here. I think that's it. Oh, now that you know how long your growing season is, how do you use this information? So you buy some seedlings. This is from Bonnie. You don't have to buy from Bonnie. I'm just using it as an example. And it tells you the maturation time for the this arugula. So you can look at this and say, I can do this. I just need that little bit of time. And that's basically it, Uche. I am complete. That's it. I'm not sure what time it
I
is. I can't even see the time.
That's all right. That's all right. I think you definitely hit the nail on the head with the number of things. If y'all are not aware, Uriah has a workbook, an activity book called Let's Grow. It is available for purchase. It's a good tool to utilize as an adult and with your children as well, your kids. So it's an opportunity where everyone gets to learn, understand, and grow their own plants right at home. So if you want to learn more, dig deeper, I will suggest you grab your copy. It's very, very informational. I can assure you of that. And that's Uriah's information desk. Screen grab it, copy the number down, bombard him with phone calls. Don't bombard him with phone calls, please. But definitely call him if you have any questions. If you have any questions about your growing pattern, what's going on in your garden, he is a wealth of knowledge and here to answer any question you might have. You'll be surprised how knowledgeable he is. And when you're done asking questions and shares, you'll be like, "You're an expert." He'll be like, "No, I'm not an expert." And then you're like, "But you kind of solved my entire issue with one phone call." So but no, yes, Mrs. Tyler responded. This is very informative. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge. Thank you, Miss Tyler, for being with us.
But Miss Tyler, where's she located? Where's she located?
Mrs. Tyler, can you share where you're located at? Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. So I might see her this weekend.
Ooh, yes, we are going to be in Dallas this weekend for a very special event. But yeah, we're oh, she asked where. Miss Tyler, we let us I will send you more details. I'll send you more details.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Uche, do you want me to stop sharing?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
Or should I just
Um,
leave that number up there?
you can leave it up. I say stop sharing. I'll share this I'll share this with everyone so that
Okay.
everyone that joined us. Oh, Joe has a question. When saving seeds, do you
Mm,
need to store it in a specific way? Right now, I have seeds just in a Ziploc bag in the cabinet.
man. Okay. Good question. Good question. Who's that? Joe? Who said that? Joe's?
Joe,
Is that Joe or Jose?
Joe.
Okay, Joe.
Joe,
Jocelyn.
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 Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Jocelyn.
So Jocelyn, good question. Something we should all be concerned with. So seeds need to be, first of all, they need to be cool and dry. Cool and dry. If you can, I'm a jar fanatic. I save all kind of jars, like little baby food jars. Well, I mean, there's no babies here, but like if you have jars from pasta and things like that, you can put seeds in those jars and you want to keep them in a cool place. If you have space in your refrigerator, I would put seeds in there.
Mm.
You just want to make sure the colder seeds are, the longer they're gonna last. If they get wet, if they get warm, they will be activated, they will germinate, and yep. And next thing you know, you got a bunch of stuff growing. You're like, what is happening? They got wet and it was warm and they went off. That's it. And so, but you definitely want to, everybody should be saving seeds. Your favorite fruits and vegetables, you should be saving those seeds. The melons that we eat, that we love, they have like hundreds of seeds in them. You can just take one watermelon and say, like, so I'm gonna save these jokers, put them on a napkin somewhere, let them dry, and then you just kind of put them in you can use a sandwich baggie, that's all right. I'm just saying make sure they're in a cool place, nowhere warm, and definitely do not want to get them wet. All right.
Thank you, Jocelyn, for asking a question. Um, I have a question, and
Yes, sir.
and I know it's regarding watering. This is
Mm.
where I fail. I don't know what is wrong with me. Okay, this is my biggest issue. So I've learned, yes, certain plants like my oregano, I got it down. It's Wednesdays tomorrow. I water every Wednesday. I do the bottom soak methodology. Put some water, soak it up. Very efficient.
Yes.
Other plants, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. Like my mint was in a cool like inside, but it started dying. It wasn't
Mm.
taking the water in. Was I watering too much? I don't know. I was like trying something with it. And I guess with oregano, it was able to sustain that way. But with my mint, for example, it did not sustain that way. Now I know, like with potatoes, for example, the sweet potato, it's doing its thing. It doesn't need that much like as much watering. Of course, I keep it, but it's outside in the full sun, so it's going to do its own thing. So I guess the question I have is, how do you determine how much water a plant gets? Someone told me, oh, wait till the pot is light, but that doesn't work for every pot. Exactly, it doesn't work for every pot. So,
This is my surefire method. You take your finger, that pot's right there. You put it in there, and
mhm.
you can say like, "Wow, it's dry as heck up in here." You need to water. Now you put your finger in there, and it's kind of moist and is kind of cool. You might not need to water. But I also mentioned that pots do dry out very quickly. So if your pot is by a window, if it's by a window and it's getting direct sunlight, it might dry out quicker than what you're thinking is going to dry out. But you need to you have to check it with your finger. You have to feel it with your hand. Let me see, is it all right? And
Mhm.
if you don't do that, you'll just be, kind of guessing. You could possibly overwater or underwater. But that's what I would be doing. Always just check before you water. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, okay, that answers
Hmm
my question. Let's see. Anyone have any questions? I don't see any questions coming in. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have another question. And see, I'm getting personal. See, this is my own personal class right now. So if someone else could want to chime in, but I'll keep using this opportunity since I have this time. And I've been saving this question. So in my backyard right now,
Mm.
um, it gets complete full sun. My backyard gets complete full sun. Now, the side of my house is
Hmm
where the shade occurs.
Okay.
It's not that much space there, and I really don't want to use that space for that.
Mm.
It's kind of a walkway.
Yeah.
I kind of want to keep it all in the backyard.
Yeah.
Shade clause.
Mm.
How do I best? Because I was thinking about creating some sort of like, mini canopy-esque thing to like cover and take off and be very vigilant. But I don't know if they have the time, but it's all about, okay, do I just cover some? Do I leave some out? Do they work? Are they efficient using a shade cloth?
Oh, shade cloths are amazing, but
Okay.
you do have to so next thing your challenge is now going to be if it rains and I'm not there,
Hmm.
so now you just have to figure out like how do I water this area that's under the shade cloth. Now, if you have some type of sprinkler system that's on an automatic every day at during summertime, every day, 6 o'clock, it waters for like 15, 20 minutes, then you might be good. But if you don't have a way to water what's underneath that shade cloth, and you're not home a lot, then you just want to make sure that the plants get that natural rainwater, man.
Yeah.
That's my only issue. That's my only issue. But shade cloths are amazing. I've used them many, many times and they work.
Would you say there's a porous shade cloth available out there that will allow for drip, like a drip system to just pour?
Oh
No.
man.
See, look at me. I'm over here thinking of solutions like that. Maybe I
When,
should invent that.
whenever I use a shade cloth, I always had like irrigation that would like just work right with the
Mhm.
plants. It was no I didn't even care if it rained. I knew they was getting water.
Okay. Okay. So many questions. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Um, okay. You already talked about okra. Oh, this is Tyler asking questions. He said, any advice for collecting rainwater in my backyard? The runoff from my roof is only in my front yard. Mm.
Oh man, that's a beautiful. Thank you for bringing that up. It's time. Everybody, if you have a house, you definitely need to be harvesting rainwater. I don't care. You gotta harvest rainwater. That's what the next wars are going to be fought over of water. we have these data centers going in, um, all kind of stuff. And there's something special about rainwater. It's not the water that comes out the tap usually has different chemicals the city puts in. Sometimes they have chlorine, some places have fluoride. But rainwater is divine. I can't say it. No, it just comes from the heavens, and only God knows where it's going to rain. So if you're blessed to get some rainwater, you want to grab it, harvest it, and utilize it. Somebody, Ms. Tyler, if somebody can put a gutter system, and you can get they got all kind of rain harvesting tubs and receptacles, but you definitely want to harvest rainwater. Have somebody install it for you, put a spigot on it, and you use it. I can't tell you how special rainwater is. That's
Mrs.
it.
Tyler responded, "Preach."
You know, Tyler understands. He knows exactly what I'm saying. It's not you can't beat rainwater, man. Rainwater is the cleanest water you're going
Yes,
to
it
get.
is. Yes.
The water that comes out the well, is good, but the water that comes out the tap, we don't know what that is. And then the water, that surface water that's in ponds and things, it's pretty. But rainwater is probably the purest. Comes, you just can't beat it, man. Your plants love it. They just perk up. They're like, yes, and they're just ready to go. So, like that rainwater, man. And we need to go there. I remember, I want to say, was it who Sid Miller is? He's a Texas.
Yes.
Yeah. So he said Texans need to get back into harvesting rainwater. He said because this was part of the culture of Texas all along, harvesting rainwater. And so somewhere along the way we stopped, but we all need
Well,
to be all growers should be harvesting rainwater. All growers.
well, there are some restrictions.
They have some restrictions.
Especially if you're in San Antonio, for example, because we sit on an aquifer.
Mm,
They have restrictions on harvesting rain. Of course, you can do it if you're in your own home, but
yeah.
they try to restrict people from harvesting rainwater, so because it's supposed to refeed into the aquifer and act as a part of the water
What?
source. I know.
No.
Hey, I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing what is being put out there. Of course, if you're in your own home, you can do it, but they have the restrictions, especially, if you have a huge swath of land and they will come out to like a farm, oh, you can't do that. Oh no.
Wow.
You need to
No way.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, unfortunately. Gov-
Okay.
no one that said government. Yeah, it's a thing. There's so I mean, as much as rainwater is so pivotal, at the same time, that restrictions, like when I first read about it, and I was like, oh, they restrict you capturing rainwater, and I was just like, it's free water. Like, why would I not capture free water and just put a bucket outside? But
Yeah.
apparently, there's a thing about the process of capturing it.
Wow.
Noel said they'll start taxing if they can. True.
Oh yeah.
Jocelyn said, "Can we go over bugs? No hornworms on my tomatoes, but the leaf footed are taking over. I don't know what footed is.
I would once again I would try the BT on that spray is a you spray it. I think you take a gallon and a couple of teaspoons in the gallon of water, mix it, and you spray it on. Every time it rains, of course you're gonna have to reapply it, but I would give it a shot. It's not even expensive.
I'm
And it's
dropping the link in the chat right now for
yeah, give it a
everyone.
shot, try it. Matter of fact, they have a picture, I think, of a horn worm on the bottle. So caterpillars, worms, yeah, shade trees even. Yep, I would give it a shot.
Sorry,
I would give
wrong
it a
link,
shot.
y'all. Wrong link. I apologize. Let me delete that. But this is the link on Amazon. Please
Okay, there you go.
check it out. They have a variety of BT organic Controls. When
I have a question. Anybody here trying to propagate any plants? When I say propagate, taking a cutting, yeah, there you go. Talk to me, Uche. What you doing?
rosemary.
You did it.
I don't know if it's done yet. Like I said, I've started with the rosemary, oregano, perfect,
Mm,
chef's kiss.
wow.
Oh, flourishing. I just picked out a few for some tomato sauce the other day. Hey Phil. Oh,
There
Phil's
he
name's
is.
wrong. But the what you call it again? The rosemary. I'm a little, but please tell me what I'm, if I'm, tell me the process. And if I'm doing it wrong, I'll just shut up. If I'm doing it right, I'm like, yay. So you get the point.
Well, I was asking that question to see who's been successful with it. I have I'm propagating some muscadines, wild muscadines, and I basically just cut them at a certain place, right where the node is, where another leaf is coming out, and then I wet it, and then I put the rooting hormone on that, and then I put them into a pot. And so this is like day number three. So I'm not going to really see any results until, maybe it could be like week or a week and a half or something like that. But I have had success with figs, uh, what is it, pomegranates, but I have not tried. Somebody told me that rosemary is probably one of the easiest ones.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But I didn't put no rooting hormone. When you said rooting hormone, I was like, I didn't put no rooting hormone. I just,
Oh,
I
hold
just,
on, I'm gonna show you mine. Hold on.
I, oh, I did not put no rooting hormone. I just cut it at the node, wetted it, connected. I just was like, all right, let's hope. But I don't know. I don't know.
And this is something, once again, you can get this at like a Walmart or somewhere. I'm not even sure if
Oh,
you
it's too
can.
bright. It's too bright. We can't
Let me
see it.
see if I back up.
Put See if you
Ah,
can put your hand behind, like,
oh, let me see.
and bring it close to the camera. Oh, there we go. Bring it closer. Garden safe. Take root. Okay, garden safe, take root. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
Google it
And
right
there's a
now.
lot of different grow new plants from cuttings. Um, Rooting hormone. So I would try that. They say that the aspirins have the same makeup. Aspirin, willow leaves. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm gonna try all that stuff
Hmm.
because I want to know. You got to experiment. But yeah, this is like $4 in the
Yeah,
supermarket.
yeah.
So you can't go wrong. All you can do is get a bunch of trees and stuff. You're like, whoa. So, but yeah, that's it right there.
Okay, okay. I'll try it out. I will. If this doesn't work, I will do another
It's
one.
gonna work.
I did not use no root hormone. I'll tell you that. I just did it water and cut by the node and just pray.
Hey, look, faith without works, right? So you
Hey,
gotta do it right. You know what I'm
look,
saying?
I talk to my plants every morning. I go down there, I pray. We have morning devotion together. No joke. I am not joking. We have a whole conversation. Me, them, and God. We have a good old time.
That's
Have
beautiful. I love it.
a
I
good
love it.
time.
Uche, I'm going to research that about the rosemary because I want to try that myself. And we just having fun, man. But
Yeah, yeah. I'm
the
no.
plants are alive. They just need to be in the right environment. They part of your family. They be like, Uche's not feeling good today. They see you, and that's who they are. And we take care of them. They take care of us.
Exactly, exactly. Well, we have Phil. You have some words. We're about to wrap up. We wanted to give you a chance to share.
I'm never short for words, but I know it's short time. First, I'll say this: I see Miss Ray on here. Hopefully, we see you on Saturday. I don't know if you signed up, but if you did, hopefully, if you didn't, we'd love to see you at our event coming up at Village Disciple Center. But I'm just loving what I'm hearing. Um, working with nature, experiment, not feeling like you got to be perfect. There's that's not what this is about. It's about learning. And I heard Uriah say experiment. And I'll leave you with this story. I was on a call yesterday, and they were talking about a huge rancher in Texas. They didn't say where, but the point was it's hot, it was summertime. I guess locusts had just taken over, his farm,
Mm,
and what he wanted to do was spray everything, versus working with nature. But those
mm,
locusts are there for a reason. Maybe it was grasshoppers.
mhm.
So one of the guys said, "Look, instead of coming out here spraying everything and just putting yourself in a worse position." Why don't you get some pigs? Why don't you get some pigs
Wow.
and just, I think it was either pigs or was, no, it might have been turkeys, excuse me. It was
Oh,
turkeys. So the guy ended up going out as a rancher and he got some turkeys and he made more money that year than he ever did. And he got rid of his problem to the point where he called the guy next year. He's like, hey, man, you got any more of them locusts? So my point is that there's always solutions, but let's not take the quick fix. It's kind of observe and see because that might be a whole nother enterprise that you can take off. But the guy went back to doing, some of the crops that he was doing because he was a row crop guy.
Mm.
But the point is there's always that to work with nature because it's there and it can be profitable once you do. So I'll stop there. I know we're out of time.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Phil. That was excellent. That's an excellent way to cap off the conversation. Well, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who was able to participate and attend. Miss Ray, we hope to see you this weekend. And I know Miss Tyler, did she request that she would like to be there as well? I believe she did request that she would like to get information. So, Mrs. Tyler, I will send you also the information as well. Thank you all so much for joining us. We
Mhm.
appreciate you for taking the time and effort. But yeah, as you know, y'all keep gardening, keep growing, keep experimenting, keep trying new things. Be like me, don't give up. Okay,
Yeah.
let's not give up. Let's keep doing it. All right.
Yes,
And
sir.
so yeah, and as we now say, be loyal to the soil.
Yes, sir. All
Cheers,
right.
y'all. Good
Yes.
night.
Good night.